Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning for another video, I thank you. Uh, Today we're going to jump back into it. After a long holiday break, Winchesters has returned. And I don't know how to feel about it like usual, but after the latest episode, we can kind of see where the direction of the show is going, what they're doing to kind of maybe hopefully up the ratings, and just kind of they're really holding on to hope that the show is going to get renewed because there still has not been any official word whether or not the show is going to get a season 2. And so kind of as a Hail Mary, they are introducing characters from Supernatural. We knew that they were going to bring in characters from Supernatural to do guest appearances within different storylines, and really not clear on where they're going with it, but this last one, it has Gabriel slash the Trickster slash Loki come in and play another storyline during this time period that that John and Mary and Carlos and the rest of them are doing their hunting, and he kind of plays into a case that they come across after the whole snafu with the Akrita in the last part of the first season. Into the episode reintroduces a original supernatural character. They're not on camera or anything, but they are brought back in a way that kind of starts to point to why John knows hunting, and what kind of happens to get him into it, other than the show itself, but other than what happens to make him forget about it or seem to forget about it later in life and everything. So it's kind of opening a door and just introducing it, or maybe possibly answering some questions that we've all had since the beginning. And so, kind of without getting in too much more into it, let's jump into the recap of this last episode, the mid-season premiere. This one kind of picks up. It picks up right after the last episode where Sam Winchester, Tom Welling, was finally introduced into the series, and after they rescue him slash he rescues them from the Akrita with the little magic box that I don't know their name of. After this little fight or whatever, it seems that the box is no longer working, so now they have to go about figuring out why it's not working, and in the meantime nurse Samuel back to health because he did sustain some injuries during this little battle. And so it kind of picks up right after that, where he's still kind of laid up on the couch and everything. They're trying to get him back to health. And this case kind of falls into their lap where this musician just up and burns into ashes. And it just kind of sets off this whole story because it introduces more backstory to Carlos, where we find out that he was once actually trying to become a singer, and he was actually on tour. And it was on tour that he discovered hunting and what he had to do, or what he had to give up to become a hunter, and just kind of thrust him into this life more or less. And when they go into this case and they figure out what's going on as far as why this hunter, or not this, why this singer just burned into ashes out of nowhere, they kind of find out that the Trickster slash Loki slash Gabriel the Archangel has something to do with it. And it's here where obviously they're reintroducing this character from Supernatural to kind of hopefully maybe hook more people in. Obviously at this point in the 70s, we don't know that it's Gabriel. He's still under this guise or whatever that he is Loki or the Trickster, and still going around making deals and killing people that he deems are douchebags or whatever. That's just kind of quoting something I read earlier today. So they find out that he is responsible for this, so they have to go research, obviously, to find out how to deal with the Trickster, and he draws them in all into this deal. Carlos is basically tricked or kind of used as bait to get him within a deal to release another singer that he knows, because it's this other singer that he comes in to see at this little bar slash venue. He sees him mid-performance start to sizzle, like we see at the beginning of the episode with this other singer, and he saves him and kind of explains the situation that he made this deal to become famous for the most part, where he just wants to kind of skip a few steps and become famous from his music, and it came with this deal, but he did not realize what the price of the deal would be. And this is Gabriel or Loki going around making these deals. And after Carlos is kind of suckered into this deal where he is traded for this other guy, he has to sing and be on stage and everything. That's kind of a life that he walked away from because of hunting, and so he's got some reservations about it. And so while they're trying to figure out how to deal with Loki, Sam gets involved, and they kind of all go after him all at once, and he tricks them obviously and gets them trapped, and Carlos goes on to kind of play his part, but then refuses to take part in it. And in this, the trickster, Loki, whatever you want to call him, fails to fulfill his end of the deal and gets himself trapped in his little mirror. But we all know that's not permanent because that's not who he is. And so that kind of wraps up the case of the episode. And then we see everybody kind of gather back, and they kind of close out the episode with Carlos singing as a kind of a one-time deal because he does miss that life, but he just knows that he can't do it because he knows that there's more important things in the world, being a hunter, that he has to do. And so he does that to kind of scratch that itch that he has to do some singing. And the episode kind of wraps up with Sam taking off because there's still a job to do and he doesn't want Mary to be a part of it, I guess. And then some random pictures get introduced into the situation that Samuel had taken. And it's with this that we get our second supernatural character cameo or whatever, or maybe he'll be tied into more of the storyline for the second half of the season. But it's a picture of Dean from that era. John reveals that it was actually Dean who gave him the letter that he reads in the first episode after he got back from Vietnam, and just kind of setting off this whole course of events, and maybe he has something to do with why the storyline is the way it is. And so it's revealed, obviously, that Dean is in this picture, and they have no idea who he is, and I don't know if they're going to touch on that more in the next episode, or the next episode's going to be kind of a filler episode, or what they plan on doing. If Jensen Ackles will actually make an appearance within the series to maybe play out or replay a storyline from Supernatural, but with different actors this time around, and what they really plan to do, and what other characters they're going to kind of have do cameos. The series itself continues to really kind of disappoint, unfortunately, and for true Supernatural fans who want to see it do well, it's just not doing well, and they're bringing in these cameos to kind of maybe hopefully save it, but I just don't think it's in the cards, unfortunately. And it sucks that it came to this, because we hoped when Supernatural ended that maybe they would do a different type of series, or maybe down the road Sam and Deeb would come back to do a TV movie or a limited series or what have you. And with the failure of this one, it makes it less likely that they'll do one anytime soon, at least. Maybe years down the road we might get one, but it's just hard to tell. And just with the low performance that the Winchesters is getting, the story, the acting, just all of it is really kind of bumming out Supernatural fans, and just not giving us that same tone and feel and everything that we felt from the old show. So, as usual, the episode was just kind of lackluster, and it really depended on these cameos to give anything to it. I don't do these reviews and everything to kind of shit all over the show, because that's not my focus or whatever. I guess it's just my never-ending, undying hope that the show will get better. But honestly, I don't think it's going to get that chance, just because it's not the greatest show in the world, and just I think it lacks in a lot of areas, and maybe it was too soon after Supernatural ended. Maybe they should have given it a few years before they tried to do something like this. But anyways, there's kind of the review and recap, and just my thoughts as usual on this show, and just it's just hard to tell at this point, but I really don't think we'll see a second season. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this little recap / review, please leave comments and likes. And obviously, if you feel so inclined, please subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. So until next time, guys, I will see you later.